Hi guys, and welcome to a new video again on Mobile Info Tech. I'm your host Guest75, and today I just wanted to make a simple video just talking about my experiences with this bad boy, the iPhone 13 Pro. It's a phone that I've been using now for the past couple of 3 to 4 days, and I must say I'm pretty impressed with the iPhone. And in this video I'm just want to go over a few small things about the device. First of all, of course, naturally it's created a lot of hype, but I must say, in terms of Apple, it does what it says on the tin, as they say. So it's fast, it's reliable, it's well constructed, cameras are of the highest grade and can easily compete with the best that's out there. And in that vein, I actually wanted to go over a couple of things, and that are 3 things that the iPhone still doesn't do and needs to be improved upon, and 3 things that the iPhone does and does very well. So the first thing that I miss, especially as I'm a multi-platform user, so I also use Android as my main devices, is no always-on display. I mean, Apple has now upgraded their displays to the LTPO panels that has been present in Android phones for the last 2 years. And what it does is actually an LTPO panel can scale its refresh rate down to 5 or 1 hertz up to 120 hertz. And things like that enable for always-on display. So I'm not sure why Apple still hasn't chosen to implement this. Technically it's easily possible, and from now on I just see this as a software limitation rather than a hardware limitation on iPhones. The second one, again, I think is a software limitation, and that is reverse wireless charging. I mean, I'm not a user of the MagSafe on iPhones with the puck technology and stuff like that, but you do see that with some accessories it can act as being charged or charging another device. And it's very weird that they have chosen to disable this to be used with other devices, including, for instance, their own AirPods, which come in rechargeable cases. And that is something I've been able to do on my Android phone for a while now. A small little scenario. Sometimes, I don't know if it still happens with iPhones, but with my iPhone 10 the other day, somehow the camera went on in my pocket, and I pull out the phone. It's very hot, the battery is nearly drained. We're about to go and eat something, and now in Europe you need this QR code to see and to register if you want to go to a restaurant. And I was panicking because my battery was almost dead. And then it just came to my head like, okay, oh yeah, I can recharge this thing because my Android phone still has 40 to 50% battery life, whereas this one has 7%. And I charged it for the while we were there, and when I got out of the restaurant, my Android phone went down to 30% and my iPhone was back to about 20%. So those are some of those situations where it can be really convenient, and I'm not even talking about the fact that you can charge your watch with it, your smartwatch, or your earphones if those are about to die. Third one is the one that still strikes me the most, and that is no truly fast wireless charging. I mean, Apple has come a long way, along with Samsung just offering 5 watts in the beginning, and now I think up to 25 to 30 watts. But the majority of the flagships in the market can do upwards of 100 watts, 65 watts on average, I'd say. And so that is something I'm still missing from the iPhone 13 Pro. And that does involve a lot of hardware change, because not only do those phones have a different structure of their batteries, just like with Tesla models, they just split the batteries, and they have a different nickel-cadmium material that they use that is more expensive to use. That's its only con, but it does keep the battery healthy with these higher charges for longer, even more so than batteries in Samsung and Apple phones right now with regular fast charging. So that is really something I hope in the next iterations of the iPhone we will get. Now on to 3 good things that I've noticed about the iPhone. Things it does and things it does very well. For me, the biggest one, especially coming from this bad boy, the iPhone 10, which is notorious for kicking out programs out of RAM as soon as you use the camera or YouTube, for example. That is no longer the case with the iPhone 12 or 12 Pro. They just keep all of the apps, even the heaviest of apps, games, cameras, whatever you want to do in between, it keeps it in memory. I mean, you still don't have true multitasking on the iPhone, which I still think is a bummer, but that is really something for another video. But you do have the ability to switch between apps and the apps still being open when you switch back and forth. So that is something really nice and something that I've been wanting to have on my iPhone for about the last couple of 5 years. Second thing is 120 Hertz on the iPhone, finally. Something also that of course the competition has been doing for a little while. And I must say it doesn't really do it in the same way, which is a little bit of a bummer maybe, because it doesn't really quite go up to 120 Hertz. In most tests I've seen it's rather between 80 and 90 Hertz. But the funny stuff is the Xiaomi phone that I'm filming this on right now is also 90 Hertz. And what I found with that is that it's a perfect compromise of a very fluid experience, but not at the cost of too much battery life. Which brings me to the third and biggest improvement on the iPhone, especially in the regular size, not the Max models. Battery life has been impeccable across the whole lineup. Even the Mini now is completely recommendable because it gets more than 5 hours of screen on time. And that is just incredible that they've managed to get great battery life back to the iPhone, where it was diminished in the 12 when you compared it to the 11, and now it's been the best it's ever been. And I hope they maintain this great battery life in their next iterations, because me and other users of the iPhone 13 line are really enjoying this. And what I particularly like is that you don't really need to pick up a Max model anymore, but you can just have a regular size iPhone that will last you all day no matter what you do on it. So that is really some of my improvements and things that Apple still needs to improve on. And that is also brings me to another topic that I've been hearing around, and that is that a lot of Apple users don't like it that users of other platforms are getting on their backs for saying, yeah, this feature, we've had it for a couple of years, why are you now praising it? And I think the sentiment comes from, if I can just take this from a multi-platform or let's say Android perspective for now, is that these features that we've been touting have always been disapproved or being stumped down by Apple users, saying like it's not good, we won't ever need that, why would I pay for something like that? Yet when the iPhone gets it, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I think that's where the sentiment comes from. So I understand a little bit where the Android users are coming from. At the same time, if Apple catches up, you gotta give them props for catching up, because especially for example the high refresh rate screens, they're doing a good job at it. It's not worse than it is on Android. It's about equal, and in terms of iOS, it really adds to the experience of an already fluid OS. So yeah, just give them the props, but also Apple users, try to be more open-minded and say like, hey, that's cool, hope that maybe the iPhone gets it as well. I'm talking about on-the-display fingerprint scanners or always-on displays. Those would be nice features to have, believe me, on your iPhone. So that's been it for this video, and in terms of my further coverage of the iPhone, I've got a little sneak peek here on a nice beat that I found, which you can expect mood to be on my new and full review of the iPhone 13 Pro. Cheers! If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Many thanks in advance.
C'est une longue route sur les chemins du paradis. La terre promise est loin, derrière le béton gris. Tour de tour, sont là pour jouer les tours. Cours pour sortir de la cour, il faut montrer les dents. Faire du rentre dedans pour sortir du rang, sinon flanc. Tu demandes à Dieu, mais Dieu n'est plus là.